Hey, you guys. Welcome to another amazing episode of Talkers vs. Doer. I'm your girl, Coach Perry, aka Miss Jim's Dropper, and I am so excited to bring another amazing entrepreneur on the platform and talk. As you guys know, this was all about spotlighting awesome people that are doing some amazing things in the community, and definitely none other than Miss Kristen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am well. You guys, that this is exciting to me because I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. You know, I ain't, we ain't gonna talk about my age, but I remember this young lady running across the street with my
Yep.
sister, during the summer days,
I said
throwing dirt and having fun. And now to see her journey is just so amazing. I'm just so thankful to be a part to see your visual come through.
thank
But as we talk about that, kind of tell the people where you from, where you grew at, give them a little background about you.
All right. Well, I'm Christian. I'm born and raised right here in Birmingham. I grew up literally next door across the street to Erica. Me and her sisters still are best friends. I went to Alabama State down in Montgomery. That's where I stayed for about 10 years. And oddly enough, I never thought I would come back to Birmingham, but career path changed. And that's how I end up here. And now I'm starting and running my own thing.
Yes, congratulations. Woo, 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 woo. But y'all hear what she said, right across the street. We right from the Birmingham Ainsley
Yeah,
area. It
yeah.
also shout out the harness, as she said, that,
Okay.
this is all about for you guys to know that it is possible no matter your background, your history, or where you from, if you have that
Right,
mindset.
right. Because you couldn't have told me 20 years ago, this is what I'd be doing.
Right, right.
No, not at all.
Yeah, definitely from that. So going into that part of you saying that, I guess one of the things is kind of we're gonna graduate in that area of what were you doing before you started doing your business?
All right. So my degree from Alabama State was in finance. I worked for Winn Dixie starting out 7 or 8 years. Made my way all the way up to a regional auditor, traveling. That's actually what I thought I would be doing that. Unfortunately, when Dixie decided to have a layoff, and I was affected by that, so I ended up taking another job at Verizon. Stayed there for about a year, and then I decided to move back home with trying to at that point basically figure out what my next move is. Because when you go through a layoff, that's really it
It's
changes
a lot.
everything because you have
Definitely.
this one track mindset of where you want to be and where you're going, and then somehow it just all changed.
Mhm.
So then I ended up just moving back home to Birmingham and have a daughter, Kinsley, and that's how I end up coming up with what I'm doing now, entrepreneurship.
Yes, awesome, amazing. I love that. And we're gonna talk about that sticking back of like you said that you was at another aspect of a job, working for someone else, and it was a loss, and that's one of the biggest things with the pandemic. So many of us, along with myself, we had to say, okay, what else I'm gonna do when a loss comes, and we're not prepared. So looking at that entrepreneurship is something good to do. We're not saying it's for everybody. This is not for the weak.
No,
Trust me.
and I think that's what a lot of people mess up at because in myself too, you think, oh, well, I'm gonna work for myself. Everybody sees the freedom, but they
Mm,
don't see the back end to everything. Like you are literally responsible for everything. When you
everything.
work for someone else, you can go in, do your work, you can go home, the bill can be on fire, you can keep on going. But when it's all you don't have that luxury. You work it every day until you can get to that point where you don't have to. But it's definitely not
Ain't
for
no
the
sick time or time off until you get to that area.
no,
You got to work.
you don't get paid.
Right.
No,
And the funny thing is, if we go back to funny and unique thing, I remember because what is 22? Yeah, about what a year ago, 2020. No, we had a talk, and I actually at that time was ordering some items from you.
yep.
And when ordering the items from you, you were still working that job and also doing your business. And I was just telling you my transition of what I was doing, from a 10.5 year job and doing my entrepreneurship. And you was like, hey, I'm tired of it. And I was like, okay, stop. Walk on faith. You got to believe it. You can do it.
Yep.
We literally had that conversation, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, you got to jot some things down, make a calendar, look at how you want to do your finance, and do it. I believe you can do it.
You
You got
see,
the momentum."
so my job had transitioned to working from home, and they had us where they wanted us to do 2 weeks in the office and 2 weeks at home. My daughter wasn't in daycare at the time, and I was like, I'm not going into the office. I already knew I didn't want to work there no more. Like that was
Right, right,
already
right.
there. I just had to figure out how do I get out of where
Yes.
I was. And the pandemic for a lot of people, unfortunately, it wasn't that great. A lot of people lost their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the pandemic opened up a whole nother world. It opened up opportunities that I never would have thought were there. In the midst of all the mayhem, I had a way out. And so I
Yes.
prayed about it, and then I talked to a couple of my family members, only a few, because everybody don't see a vision, everybody don't understand it.
Come on now.
I clearly heard, like, to this day, I tell anybody, I promise you, he told me to quit. I heard
Mm.
God tell me to step out on faith and do it. And I put in my 2 weeks notice, and my HR was
Yes.
like, well, you could just take a leave. And like, nah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. And this was I left in 2020. What was this? I left in 2020.
Yeah.
That was the best decision I ever made. Like, I have absolutely no regrets at all. So
I
I
love it.
tell everybody, to if you truly believe that and you pray about it, do it. Ain't nothing for you but to try. I feel like we all young enough to where we can step out and fail, make a couple mistakes. If you have to go back and get another job, you can. Like, especially now, everybody hiring. So don't
Right.
be scared, but don't just run out there freely. Make sure you got a plan
Make sure you
first.
got, yes.
Yeah.
Have something set up, you guys.
Right. Don't just jump out there sometimes. Plan it out. But
Mhm.
I'm glad I never go back. I ain't gonna say I never go back. I pray I don't ever have to go back.
Right, right. And I'm so glad that you said that it was one of the best decisions. Even though we talked about in the beginning some of the things that you have to work hard, but like you said, it was the best decision. It still came to that freedom of that less headache working for yourself, on that standpoint. So grateful that you went on ahead and you decided that. So since you decided that, kind of tell the people like exactly what are you doing, or we want to back them, tell them what you started doing and what you're currently doing now, because I know you've had some
So
transitions.
everywhere. All right.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go back to 2018.
Hmm.
2018 is when I had my daughter. I was on maternity leave, and at the time, I knew the company I worked for. I knew I eventually was ready to go. So I was
Right.
only looking for something else to do. I've always been crafty. I've always been interested in making stuff, like all through grade school, high school, like everything. I've always been that person. So I ended up joining this motherhood group on Facebook, and they had a post about what do you do for extra money or something like that. And this lady had posted that she was making kids letters. So I was like, you know
I
what?
want to go ahead and say, you guys, you heard what she said, a group. She went in
Yes,
a group. She researched, went in a group. Okay.
yes. Side note, whatever you're doing, join Facebook groups, because I promise you, having to talk to somebody and see other people doing what you want to do is definitely
Yeah.
beneficial. And a lot of those people in those groups, not everybody, but a lot of them are very helpful, and they have no problem with helping you do whatever you're doing. You need to join some Facebook
You
groups.
need some resources, you guys.
Yeah,
Resources
some
is
people you can
needed.
talk to. So I end up the next day, me and Kinsley drove to the craft store, and I bought some letters and a bunch of stuff to make them. I end up making them that same this 24 hours later now. Made
Mhm.
a few of them, not posted, sent them to some of my family members, and my family is super supportive. Some of them probably was lying, but they really was boosting my head up. Those look great, Looking back on them, Erica, they was trash. They really were trash.
Mhm, mhm,
They
mhm.
were not up to par at all, but they believed in me to where it made me post on Facebook Marketplace like a couple days later.
Right.
And people started asking and they wanted to buy them. I made no money. Literally, I was charging less than what it cost to even make the stuff. But that's where I started, looking for something to do to make extra cash while I was on maternity leave. And it took off. This was like the beginning of November 2018. By mid-December, I was plotting of how I can quit my job and do this full time. Had made no money, but I knew this is it. This is what I want to do. So the rest of the year, I was crafting, selling, started my did my letters of formation, did my website, did all of that. By the next year, I was full in it, but also still working for my current company.
Okay.
Following year, pandemic hit. I had already quit after the pandemic, but I was still crafting. My crafting business was doing so well to where it was holding me along after leaving a really good paying job.
Wow.
So once again, I'm trying to figure out, I need something that can take me longevity. Because I can't be 50, in here making leathers and t-shirts, and I need something else. Either this gonna have to blow up to where I can hire other people, or I need to add on something else.
Okay.
That's my whole thing. And once again, in a Facebook group, scrolling, I don't know how this came across, but this girl from New Jersey, she was doing soft play, and I instantly was intrigued. Sent it to my sister, and she was like, "Great idea, bad time." Like, this was the year the pandemic hit, so bad time. I waited, I prayed. By December, I was like, I'm gonna start this next year. This is what I'm gonna do. So I researched. I had already been looking it up prior to that. By January the 1st, I said, I'm gonna take my whole income tax check and I'm gonna buy everything I need to launch what is now Ken's Creative Playground. It's a mobile soft play rental company. That alone is amazing, because a lot of people down in this area, the South, they hadn't heard of it.
Right.
And there were people here who was doing it, but a lot of people didn't know anything about it. So I was able to come in and just clean house.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the biggest thing on it that love about it is you spoke about everything. If you guys are listening, viewers, of just a transition, having that faith, researching, believing in yourself, but you also had some resources and you was able to talk to people. And that's the thing biggest with a lot of entrepreneurs. We are so afraid to talk to people and tell people ideas. You can tell people, but the certain ones. You was blessed to be able to go to your sister and she gave you that information and that knowledge, because some people are so scared, oh, they're going to take my stuff or they're going to do this. But you was able to go to your sister and say, what is your thoughts? And she gave you some constructive criticism. Hold up, wait, look at the market, which made you study.
Yep.
Entrepreneurs, I preach that all the time. You got to be knowledgeable of your field. You got to know what you're doing. Where is it? Like you said, you knew down here when nobody touching it. So guess what? Let me tap into it.
Right.
And let me make it my own way because nobody else is doing it. And the biggest thing was that investment. Did y'all hear what the girl said? She invested her whole income tax. Stop playing.
Oh, and the stimmy.
Ooh, got something that made it happen.
When I launched, like I said, it took me by surprise. The same day I posted, I had people paying deposits. Like, people never met me. Website. Typically when you ordering from somebody, you kind of hesitant about giving your money. I had clients literally the first day, and one in particular, I'm just gonna say her last name, Karma. So if she see this, she know who she is. This lady, when I tell you, never met me a day in my life, it be the strangers that put something into you.
So we'll see
that you didn't know. When I launched, it took off. I ended up deciding to purchase a truck to transport my stuff. The truck bigger than me. It was huge. It was huge. I was so intimidated, scared as I don't know what driving it. My first party was her. She was the first person to book and pay on the first day I launched. This is just how crazy it is. And my first time driving my truck was to her party. It got stuck in the road.
Come on now.
Like literally across the road. Her pushed my truck out of the road. I wasn't even in bed.
You gotta hear this one, okay.
Some guy, like while they was trying to push it, some guy, because the traffic is blocked on both sides, he just so happened to be a truck driver passing by. He was like, I can come help you get you out your road. He clearly was intoxicated. Like, you could smell it. But I trusted him to get in my truck while they pushed to get me out the truck.
Right.
So I made the comment to her, I was never looking for this size truck. I was looking for a van, really. But I should never got this. Like, it's too big for me. That's what I told her. She was like, no, don't ever say that. Kids Creative Playground is growing. And this truck came along because it saw your vision. Like, it knew where you was going, even though you didn't know. This is what she's telling me.
I'm being silent because I can jump up from that. Like, that big baby.
At the time, I'm listening to her and I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I'm still intimidated and scared of this truck. Few months later, I'm acquiring more equipment and having to do multiple parties in one day. If I would have gotten that van, I would have had to come back home, back and forth. But having a bigger truck allows me to do all in one swoop. I can clean on the truck. It's perfect. And I always remember this stranger put that seed in me and made me comfortable about a decision that I didn't know that was growing to where it was growing. And to this day, she's still one of my biggest supporters on social media. She refers my stuff. She posts, like, she boosts me up. She even sent me a gift for Starbucks. Like, it's crazy how your support system can be people that you just come across. So when you making the point about the Facebook groups, that is so, so important. Like, strangers, I'm telling you. I read a post one time that said, delete all your friends and add strangers and watch how your business grow. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have very supportive friends.
Now, we might just gonna run past that again. You didn't say that. We're not gonna just run past. Say that again.
I read a post that said, delete all your friends and family and add strangers and see how fast your business grows. And I'm lucky enough to have a lot of supportive friends and family. Everybody don't. And then you got the ones that seem like they support and they really secretly plotting to take you down. But I can honestly say, strangers, from experience, I mean, they market for you. They push your stuff for you. They believe in you. Some of the people you grew up with believe in you. So don't be careful.
We're going to go in on this because I love what you said. I love that phrase. I think that phrase was amazing. I'm definitely going to jot that down, so don't be mad when you see it. But I think it is so true what you said. It be the strangers that will support you and put you to that next level that you don't even know. Own it. So, like you said, don't even know you just said a last name, but I thank you for being that blessing. I'm always thanking for people for being a blessing and sowing seeds for someone else, because you never know how your seeds are going to grow. But just the fact that you're blessing and you're helping someone else, and also those words that she spoke to you. And we do that sometimes as entrepreneurs. And I've expanded my mind now, saying, think bigger, your vision. Because like you said, I don't need that. That's what you said. But what he said, his vision was already there. It was way bigger than you. So you got to think and prepare for that vision before it comes. If you're already preparing and practicing for that vision, you're going to be ready when it hits you. Like you said, now you have a whole truck that you can provide things in, and you constantly growing. This is just the beginning. And I know it because I've seen it grow for you. And also, girl got some bad shirts and stuff she did. Don't let her play, because she try to downplay herself a little bit. Now, with that craft too, she's amazing too with it. God gifted talent. So you are amazing and gifted at what you do, but also telling people out there, viewers, you got to have that vision. You got to know what you're doing is going to go way bigger. When you start to actually vision, and Kristian, you could comment on that, man, it explodes, because I've started different things and now I'm seeing how I'm gradually growing as a person. I scare myself with my visions. That's so funny.
Yeah. If it don't scare you, it ain't real. It needs to. You got to
scare myself.
Think bigger. I think if you think bigger, and this works for me, bigger than what I think can happen. So when I get the small things, it's like steps to the bigger things. So I'm not as disappointed because I've already set my vision way far out. So it kind of helps me stay grounded a little bit when it comes to, and to stay humble too. Just think as big as you can. If you whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing with that is like how your thing is talkers versus doers. You can't just think about it. Like you have to put some type of plan in place. Write it down. Right. I can't tell you how many, and I threw away a lot of them yesterday because I just keep them notebooks and journals and stuff. Write it down. Write
Right.
down what you want and check off as you go. Like that helps you keep and stay on track.
Definitely, that was the big thing, and I love it because people always go back on the podcast about the talkers versus doers, and that was one of my biggest thing of why I actually started this, and it came to me late at night, up, not singing the song late at night. No, I was up.
And that's what I heard.
Doing the work right that came in a song. I was doing about 3 o'clock, and I was like, "Ooh, talkers versus doers." But it also was a confirmation for me to stop talking about a lot of stuff I was doing and go out there and just do it.
Yep.
Like you said, you're gonna have some pitfalls, you're gonna have some bumps, but you gotta do it. You gotta go out there and make it happen. You wrote it down, now put action behind it. And what I tell people, my slogan is have your own back. Have your own back. Believe in yourself. Put action to it and stay committed. If you have your own back and you believing in yourself, you putting action to it and you staying committed, shh, ain't no way, things will fail because at the end of the day, even though you may have supported parents, friends, and family, you got to do the work.
Yep.
Because with them night times where ain't nobody want to help you or they answer the phone, you got to put that work in.
Let me tell you, the playground. It is. I should have a 6-pack. Like I ain't gonna stand up and show you. It is labor. When I first launched, I had people reaching out to me from other states and even here locally in Alabama because they thought I had been in the business for a while. Like, ma'am, I just launched last Saturday. I have no advice to give you. I'm still figuring it out. Like, true story. I promise you. I had people from other states reaching out to me, asking, hey, can you mentor me? Can you help me? What advice do you have? And I'm like, I'm sharing what I know because I'm just excited. Hey, you should do this and you should do that.
Right.
But when people ask me now, I always tell them, like, ask them, well, why are you doing this? Because it is a lot of labor. It's not this, like, you're out there in the hot sun setting up foam mats, heat, sweating, like it. But I grew up in the grocery store business, like, so that's nothing for me. Stocking, that's what I did at the beginning. But what was I telling you this first out and got lost track? Talk about the grocery store.
No.
A lot of labor.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is that a lot of people see the fruits and they don't realize like what all you put into it. So when they ask me now, I ask them like, you gonna either stay, you gonna start, or you gonna strike. People don't do their research and they just jump into other businesses, especially this one too, and not realizing like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. When I started out, my nephew, he was working with me. He's going to school down in Huntsville, but now I posted like nobody. I haven't had anybody to basically that I can hire just yet. So I've been doing my parties for the last couple of months by myself.
Wow.
When he left, he started another job. Literally washing, cleaning, doing 2 parties a day. At one point, it was 2 parties a day. But for the most part, it's been 2 a weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. And I've been by myself doing it.
Okay.
I've even brought my daughter with me because it's been days where I can't cancel a party because I don't have anybody to watch her or nobody to help me. This is my business, so I have to do it by myself. And honestly, it was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed it. Tired as I don't know what, but I enjoyed it. But I say all that to say, because you made the statement, it's you. Like, this your thing.
Right.
You don't wait on somebody else. If they not gonna help you, I'm not gonna stop because I don't have nobody to help me set up this party. No. And luckily, my clients have been very helpful. Like, they helped me get the fan off the truck, pull the big stuff. That's very helpful. When they see you about to break your neck. Like, I did all that. But long story short, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes because ain't nobody nobody's made to do what you want to do. Like they don't have
Mhm.
to help you. It's your thing. Until
Right.
you can get big enough to dish out some real money to where folks really want to work for you, you gonna have to do it.
You
It's
got to put that work in. And I like that because that's something I always like to ask guests is about some of the things that they had to overcome or their challenges. And you just spoke about all those challenges. Like you said in the beginning, everybody was turning to this podcast like, oh my gosh, she making money. People calling her, they
Mhm.
talking to her. She's so booked. But that outside, what she telling y'all, I'm doing this all by myself. I gotta have other people to help. I'm tired. I'm pulling all this rope. Nobody sees that part.
No,
You guys just see the picture when everything's set up pretty and nice, and when she's showing you guys on the different social media, and then all the kids having fun. But what about that backside? Are you ready for that? And that's one of the biggest things that I teach too, working with my business clients is what you spoke about. You got to know if this is something you really want to do.
yeah, because if
I
not,
am a business and mindset coach, but my biggest thing with people, I start with mindset. I've turned a lot of people away because they're ready to just jump in business. But being an entrepreneur, and not only being an entrepreneur, but being an African American entrepreneur, you got to be at the top. You got to be even more. So your mindset got to be even much more because you already coming in a business where people may judge you, they may look at you different, or they're gonna challenge your thought frame. So my thing is to make sure mentally, is this what you want to do? We go over your mindset. Do you know who you are? Because knowing who you are gonna be a big passion of your purpose of what you're doing.
yep. If you don't like kids, talking with people, being hot, being tired, if you don't like any of those things, this ain't for you.
Mhm.
This is not. It's just not.
Yeah.
It looks
But it's
pretty.
something that you enjoy and you love and you knew you was passionate about it, so you was able to do it. And now you're reaping the benefits and seeing the growth of it because it was something that you are really passionate. You just didn't jump into it and just say, oh, let me get that money.
No, no. When I first saw this, I like everybody else make the assumption, oh, I can do that. It was easy, outside looking in. I'm thinking I could take about $1,000. I can go get some balls from Walmart. I can, that's what I'm thinking because I'm looking
Right.
at somebody else stuff.
Hmm.
Once I got to research, I'm like, no, I'm gonna need a minimum of about $5,000 to start this, which is low for starting a business, but probably high
Hmm.
for starting this type of business. But that's a lot of people mistake that people make. They look at what other people have and they assess it just based off that. They don't do their research and see, well, no, you got all the equipment. You need to be your letters of formation. You need insurance, depending on some people don't, but I have insurance.
Right.
You need all of that. You need your business bank account. You need to set up your credit, like all of that back end stuff. People don't, and that costs money.
Hmm.
Like you can't just jump into it. And that was my whole thing. I wanted to start where I didn't want to start at the bottom. I didn't start at the top, but I kind of
Hmm.
did median to where I had enough equipment and quality equipment there was going to take me through till I can get to where I am. I can say where I'm at now, but where I'm heading now. Because I
Ooh, where you
started
headed?
this in higher quality, but
Hmm.
it's a lot of money that goes into doing this. And then I've had a couple people question, out of all my clients, we're just gonna say 50 to keep math simple. Probably two question my price. The
Okay.
other 48, it's like, cool, here you
Hmm.
go. Because people gonna pay for what they want.
Right.
And I think that's another of the big issues when you starting out. You shoot yourself in the foot. You don't charge what you're worth.
Hmm.
And that was one of the things I researched. I reached out to people who was doing this in other states. I didn't want to reach out to a local because you got to be careful with that. Some people want to help you, some people don't. And some
Right.
people try to sabotage you. Some people, you just got to be helped. So I reached out to people that were in other states, told them who I was, what I wanted to do, and they were very helpful. And that
Hmm.
helped me set my price to where it should be versus, too low to where at that point, that goes back to what I was saying, you're doing it for the money. If that's all you're doing it for, you would have quickly got out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that because you're saying knowing your worth, but we're also gonna go back in the detail where you saying don't look at other people. You got to know your worth and what you're putting in.
Yep.
And a lot of entrepreneurs go in looking at other successful people and just assume that they just going to have that and do that. It's okay to mentor other people and look at them and see what they're doing and make it your own. But you can't look at other people day 100 to your day 2. That's going to mess you up.
That is it. That is definitely it. And but we all do it. I'm guilty of it.
Right.
We do it, but that is absolutely, you said you
Mhm.
they on day 100. You just not still thinking about it. Of course, you're not going to come out the gate funny.
And you mad and you angry, and now you've gotten to the point where your self-esteem is a little low. You're questioning your process. You're questioning if you can do it. But if you've already set that mindset and know your passion, your purpose, and already believe in it, you gonna get there too.
Yep.
But you get that because you settle in and just, oh, I'm just gonna run out there and do it. And like he said, I tell some of my clients, you gotta delete some people. And they like, what you mean? Some of the people that are doing something successful in your group, you may have to delete them because it can block and cloud you because you so worried about their success and what they're doing that you got to let that go and focus on you.
Yep. And I'm guilty of that. I've been there looking at other people's success and downplaying where I'm at. And
Right.
it takes somebody to tell you or show you, look in the mirror like you're doing really well. But what you said about deleting those people, sometimes that's necessary. And it's not you being funny towards them. I just gotta cut myself off because I'm not mentally there yet.
Ooh, that mental, yes.
Yeah, you have to
Mm-hmm.
know your own faults and your own downfalls. Like you probably can't hang out with those people just yet. Like we all want successful friends. We all want that. But sometimes you might just need to be by yourself because you so busy looking at them that you can't even focus on what you got going on. And I mean, no shade to them or you. You just
It's
got
growth.
yeah,
It's growth that you got to understand yourself because, like you say, it's no shade because in school they be like, "Oh, you trying to act funny," and no, I'm on a different level. This is business level, so
right.
it's a growth level. I've been thankful that being in the mindset of business coaching that I'm doing, but as many know, my background is in social service. I've always been that person that want to help people, give back to people. So now I was blessed with a university to contract my business to help
Ooh,
aspiring. Yeah. I'm actually getting one of them things like they'll be like, do something. I gotta get something hooked up to
yeah,
make music go. So they're contracting my business to help with some new inspiring and stuck entrepreneurs elevate their business to the next level. Because that is my focus. Entrepreneurs that are just coming in the game and doing that. In the mix, we have Zoom meetings and the people on there be amazing. Like I'm so blessed that I'm getting in rooms where people are so great. But these people are so great, but they're looking at me saying, hey, you're going to be great and greater too. We believe in you already. But these are doctors and stuff at schools. And I'm like, whoo. So
yeah,
one of them I actually was. I was talking to and following. Then I started seeing the stuff. I started seeing some of the amounts she charged her clients. I said, ooh, I gotta stop looking at her posts because I'm getting scared. She charging 15 and 2,000 a session. And I'm just here. But then it got me complacent of like, girl, what you doing? So you know what? Let me go ahead and unfriend you. And it was okay. And the funny thing about it, when people truly believe and know in that, she actually sent me a text and said, hey, I see you finally unfriended me. I said, wow.
because she knew.
Wow. Right. She said, yeah. She said, because every time I spoke or said something, I see you going in. She said, I'm so thankful that you're looking at it, but I want you to have your own path. I said, okay. So, like I said, you sometimes have to separate yourself from that, but it's okay because she know. But at the same time, I'm still in the rooms and tables with her. I'm sitting with people, like I said, got a doctorate, but I'm not going to belittle that. I also have a master's too.
Right.
So we sometimes kind of, like you said, we look back on ourselves and be like, man, I got this. And you look at other people, but I'm like, yeah, she just went on ahead and got a couple of more hours and did school
Yeah,
and
that don't mean
did
you
some
love
more thesis. Right.
me.
But knowing my worth of who I am, saying that I have to bag from that, understand where I'm doing and where my focus and where I'm going, that's what I got to be focused on and making sure that I hit my timelines and goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That's why we say,
definitely that's a big part. And also just what we want to do is tell the people some of the stuff that you got coming up and what are you doing, because you just gave them a mouthful on it. I mean, we just came in and just cut loose.
Right.
So just let them know some things that you have probably have coming up.
Well, only thing I can say, like, as far as like coming up would be my print business. With the holidays, I have a lot of things that I'm doing special for Valentine's Day and Black History Month. So if you need anything customized when it comes to kids decor, shirts, or especially with Valentine's Day, blankets, pillows, picture frames, like anything unique, I just check out my Facebook, Kids Creative Prints, Facebook and IG. I'll be posting all that, and everything will be for sale on my website, kidscreativeprints.com. As far as the playground, it's still the same. This summer I will have new equipment coming, but I haven't fully decided what color schemes I'm going to go with yet. So that's coming, but that's later on down.
And for you guys too, you probably have seen me with my little amazing cup. So I gotta shout out my girl, amazing bartender, actually one of my great clients that I have. I got a show, and Kristen was a little mad because we didn't get it to her in time, but she had bottles. So she actually specialized bottles based on what you are doing in your business. So for parties, get-togethers, anything, as you guys probably can see, it has the Taco Verse Door podcast layout on it. So I was sipping a little bit. I try not to sip a lot because Christian didn't have hers, but we're gonna get back in there with it.
I'll sipping on some. I got some in here.
Yeah, okay. And also look at it. She actually put it nice in a little bag. So yes, Deidre, I had to shout her out. Thank you so much. She supplied us with these. She's always trying to be a blessing and sow her seed. So we thank you for upcoming podcasts that we're gonna have some good sweet silks bartending. So you guys check her out on Facebook. She got some great deals. And she awesome. You know why? Because she's my client and she's doing it and we elevating to the next level.
Right.
So definitely. So thank you so much, Christian, for coming on, man. I'm just so excited just seeing your growth and the growing up we did together. It just, y'all just don't know. I told her she had to be on. It took a little twist and pills like where we used to have to play and push and pull on her doing back in the day.
And
But
I
I'm
was
like,
like, no, I don't know at first. I
yeah,
love talking to people. I don't know what I felt like I ain't having to talk about.
no. And you see how we going? Because she was going. But she gave y'all some good information. So definitely you guys check in with her, get those items. It's been quarantined. It's probably gonna go back, and then when it's done, y'all having all these babies, so y'all need some baby stuff and
Yeah,
playgrounds.
that's the beauty of it. I come to you and everything's clean. You don't gotta worry about nothing.
Y'all holler at her. Y'all holler at her. So, like she said, those are all the ways that she's already said you guys can reach out and follow her. As always, follow us, Talkers vs. Doers, on all social medias. We're just getting started. We're going to finna blaze the street, just providing positivity and education. We got some amazing, dope people coming up talking about finance for you entrepreneurs. I know that is a big thing for me. So just learning more about that part. We got those things coming up. So please stay tuned in. If you're not already, please subscribe. Hit that YouTube, hit that follow button. We're in the city, we're in the community, we're right here in Birmingham. Get our followers up. Push us out there because it's all about getting you guys out there. Also, Facebook. We're on Instagram too, Talkers First Duel, and Twitter. So hey, be a blessing, be a family. Please follow us. And if you want to follow me, as always, Instagram, Coach Perry, aka Miss Jim's Dropper, as well as Facebook, Coach Perry. And as we talked about the amazing groups, I have an amazing group that I am building called Successful Mindset for aspiring and new entrepreneurs. So I'm really just trying to get that community of entrepreneurs to have that correct mindset to elevate their game. So make sure you guys are following that. But last not least, just because if you guys may not have remember, shout out again where they can follow you, Christian.
Kids Creative Prints on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure my TikToks be fun. Make sure you
Oh
follow me.
yeah, they do be dope. I'm trying to get to that level. They be dope.
I'm still learning, but we getting there. And my playground is Kids Creative Playground on Instagram and Facebook. Same tag names for the websites. But
Awesome.
Creative is spelled with the K, KKP, like my baby.
Love it. We didn't even get into that. We was talking so much, we didn't get into that. So we're gonna come back on it because we gotta invite her again as she continued to explode. But we also want to go in more detail, like you said, the name of it, how you created that name.
Yes, yes,
So we want to get more, but we know she's coming back on. We're gonna do some more creative stuff with her as well to get her back on. So thank you guys once again. Continue to follow us, and as always, don't talk about it. Go out there and do it. And again, happy Founders Day to the sorors of Delta Sigma Theta
yes.
Sorority
Founders Day.
Incorporated. Mm. Y'all have a good one.